On July 20th, 1991, the world was introduced to Frieza's older brother, Cooler, the older brother of Frieza, who was never mentioned throughout the series until Frieza's defeat to Goku. In Cooler's revenge, it was revealed that Goku was almost killed by Cooler because he was watching the destruction of planet Vegeta, but he allowed Goku to go free. So Frieza learns how to take responsibility for his actions. Years later, he then goes to Earth to find the Super Saiyan that shamed his family name. And it turns out, just like a Dragon Ball Z movie would, Cooler gets overconfident, Goku goes Super Saiyan, and Cooler dies at the very end. Except for when he really didn't and he became a robot, but that is neither here nor there. Fun fact, the original Japanese movie title is Dragon Ball Z, The Incredible Mightiest vs. Mightiest. And Toei had its own English title, which is Dragon Ball Z, The Strongest Rivals. Which, if I'm honest, Cooler's Revenge sounds a lot cooler than any of the other movie titles that they ended up going with. So far in Super, we haven't heard anything about him. But what if Cooler was part of the main timeline? How would he change the timeline? Will he make a big difference? Let's get started and find out. The story begins a few hours before King Cold and Frieza land on planet Vegeta in the original timeline. King Cold is ready to retire, and he has to choose between two of his sons. Barry Blue asks if King Cold has already chosen someone to take his place, to which King Cold says yes, he'll announce it once they land. And upon landing, he announces his retirement. The one who will take over his position out of his sons is Frieza. This shocks Cooler as he turns to his father in anger. How could you choose him over me? I've worked hard to earn this. King Cold replies with, Frieza was born with great potential. This is the last straw. Cooler storms off to the ship as Frieza is doing his thing like in the original timeline, taking out the snipers, showing off the scouters. He tells Barry Blue that he will be heading off into space. He'll build his own empire, stronger than that of the Frieza Force. It makes him sick just calling it like that. Why would Cooler be telling Barry Blue all of this, that he's gonna leave and betray his family? Well, I think that Barry Blue is a mother-like figure to him and Frieza, so he'd be kind of open to tell her this. While yes, I wasn't the one who came up with it, I will be using it here because I kind of like it that they at least got a mother-like figure. With that, Cooler just heads out into the far reaches of the universe where he's not going to run into any of his family. It's his territory. He can build a better empire than Cold could ever do. He's obviously kind of like self-exiled himself because he just doesn't care for them anymore. However, during his crusade, he gets word that Frieza might blow up planet Vegeta, so he goes to see if this is true. When he gets there, we get the whole scene of him seeing Goku's pod, and he really doesn't do anything about it, just like in the movie. He lets Goku go to teach Frieza some responsibility for any mistakes that he makes, and plus, this Saiyan may prove useful in the future one day. We get an anime time skip to around the Red Ribbon Army arc. I think this is the time when Cooler would be killing off Universe 6's Metal Men, or as you may know them, Magetta's race. I think around this time is when Cooler finds his fifth form, the Super Shredder form, probably the best transformation out of all the Frieza race characters. This is just my best guess on when he gets the form. For all I know, it could have been like much sooner or like a lot later. Maybe he discovers the form a week before he goes to fight Goku. Who knows? Nothing really happens until the end of the Namek Saga. After Goku actually beats Frieza, King Cold still finds Frieza's body messed up. The one big thing is that Barry Blue gets in contact with Cooler, telling him that his younger brother was defeated by a Super Saiyan. Cooler, while shocked, He definitely saw this coming. Cooler tells her that he's gotta see Daddy's little princess all beating up. When Cooler arrives, his dad gives him the cold shoulder. He demands to see his younger brother. Frieza at this point is almost fully rebuilt. Cooler laughs at Frieza, telling him, ho ho ho, the little princess got hurt. Frieza replies with, what hole did this insect come from? And why is he here? I cannot do trash talk for the life of me. The two are basically ready to get into a fight right then and there. But Barry Blue tells them to calm down and to stop fighting. King Cold says she's right. We need to reclaim the family honor. Cooler, however, says he no longer cares for this family honor or the family in general. However, he does want to see the Saiyan who beat Frieza. On their way to Earth, Frieza, Cooler, and King Cold have done about 4 weeks worth of training, as being they can't really get along, so it's barely even possible to do a month. This means that when they get to Earth, they are far stronger than what Frieza and King Cold were when they landed on Earth. Everything until Trunks taking down all the minions and Cooler's armored squad pretty much stays the same. Trunks does slightly have a challenge with the armored squad, but eventually they're defeated just like the rest of the minions. Just shoot aside. With Trunks taking down all the henchmen, it's time for Frieza to make his grand entrance. And unfortunately for Trunks, he is unable to even hurt Frieza. During the fight, Cooler walks out of the ship, asking Frieza, is this the Super Saiyan who beat you? Trunks is once again shocked because he wasn't aware that there was another person, much less that they were as strong as him. So what I'm trying to get at is that this is Trunks from the History of Trunks special, from the original quote-unquote timeline. Frieza replies to Cooler's question saying no, that this Saiyan is almost as strong as the one he fought on Namek. Cooler tells Frieza to stop playing around with him and just kill him then. But just as Frieza's about to kill Trunks, Goku steps in, using his instant transmission, knocking Frieza away. Frieza states that, yes, this is the Saiyan who beat me on Namek. Frieza also says that this is a one-on-one battle between the two, and he will get his revenge on Goku. To which Cooler says, yeah, sure, go ahead. I doubt you'll even live through it. Frieza begins his battle with Goku, and we finally get a battle between Mecha Frieza and Super Saiyan Goku. Well, actually, Mecha Frieza in this timeline ends up winning. They've trained for 4 weeks before getting to Earth. Frieza, standing over Goku, begins to laugh, saying that he had nothing to worry about. All he had to do was train for 4 weeks. And there it is, Goku's on the floor. He was beaten. A Super Saiyan was nothing special. But before he can finish his sentence, there are multiple beams going right through him. They're going through his arms, legs, and his head. This pretty much kills Frieza instantly. Cooler is just standing there with his finger out, smiling. This shocks King Cold, asking Cooler, why did he do this? Why? It was his little brother. Cooler, not looking at him, says that he was being too cocky and annoying. He never deserved anything he got. He just got it from nothing. He got it from birth. Cooler had to work up for what he got. But Cooler gets rid of King Cold just like Trunks did in the original timeline. And nobody really knows how to feel about this. Cooler, Frieza's older brother, just saved them from his own family. Cooler then looks at pretty much at the two defeated Saiyans, saying that Cooler states that he did not do this out of the kindness of his heart. He needs the Saiyans for a future threat. He tells Goku that years ago, he let him live, and that's how he got to Earth. Cooler had the chance to kill Goku, but didn't. Now that he has no Cooler armored squadron, he'd like to take the Saiyans in their place. I will leave a poll on the top right corner. Do the Saiyans join Cooler and pretty much head off into space to take care of this future threat? Or do they protest and not join Cooler in his future threat thing? Or does Cooler wait until after the Cell games to come and pick them up? The choice is yours. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this. It was kind of off the walls, kind of different from what I'm doing because it's taking place on Cell Saga. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get the notifications.